Then let's go to the what is the reason. First, understand Korean. The first issue is why they like break the rules. They don't keep the rules. You spent 4 years in Korea.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about that? Why they don't break the rules?
그 한국 사람 그 약속 잘 지키는 그
약속을 잘 안 지킨다. 규칙을 깨거나.
약속 잘 안 지키는 거요?
Yeah.
아니죠. 그런 생각이 없어요. 네.
You don't think like that.
네.
Yeah. They keep their words, but what I mean is that they really like to break the rules like traffic rules and other rules and regulations. Their first instinct is like this way. Every Korean man want to be the superhero. And their basic thinking is like this. Be obedient is to display their weakness. So, wild boy is cool. So all the junior high school boys that try to be the number one of the fighting each other. How about you? What do you think about that? Do you agree with that?
I not yet experienced about
Yes.
this situation.
Yeah, of course. If you have the experience, you can be beat with him. Yes. So they want to be the center of attention. They want to collect all the attention from the people. Do you know the reason? Why they have to want to be a superhero or want to collect the attention? Basically, it comes from the Korean society, very hyper-stress society, because they have a very strict competition, and the competition is never stop till the end of life. I agree with that. 경쟁이 심하죠.
그래서 그 한국에서
Yes.
그 제가 그 뭐 발리하라고 그런 소리 많이 들었어요. 네, 그래서
빨리. Yes.
네, 그래서 그리고 그 뭐지? 그 항상 그 노력해야 된다고 그런 소리도.
Yeah. Always have to effort and make it more quickly. So very hyper stress. So it developed that very distorted stress reduction. What I mean is they can't reduce the stress with a very normal way. And they just break the rules and do the very violent things, and after they make the attention or the collect the attention from the people, they feel they reduce their stress. This is the reason why they want to be the superhero. And the other thing is that the Korean society right now is just a two-way, selected or not or out. So they have to get attention from the people, not just between the peer group. They have to be selected by their boss. Let me give you the example of the life cycle of the Korean, how they in the very strict society. The first, inside of their mom, they already started the English class. Can you believe it? In Korea, they have the class for the pregnant lady, and they started to get hear the English from the time of the fetus. And when they were born, they went to the kindergarten, and almost all of the kindergarten started to teaching English. And they have another tuition only for the elementary school entrance exam. So from the kindergarten, they spend more than 3, 4 hours every day for this English and tuition. And when they go to the elementary school, they usually go to more than 3 tuition normally. And English and computer now is the obligation to be the old elementary school. So when I see the friends' children in Korea, normally they come back home at 10 p.m. It's elementary school. Wow. So they have 3 tuition like a piano, and after that they go to the English tuition, and after the taekwondo. Can you imagine that? The elementary school, they back home at 10 p.m. And after that they went to go to the junior school. Every minute they had to go to the 4 university entrance exam. And they stay in the school normally 8 a.m. until 9 p.m. in school, only for school. And it's not the end. They have to go to the other tuition after the 9 p.m. And they back to the home around the midnight or 1 a.m. And next day they go to school again. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Hai, how about you?
Yes.
Did you spend like this way?
No.
Yeah.
I think I'm more lucky.
More lucky? Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think so too. And my children is lucky because I'm not living in Korea. Now I'm staying in Malaysia, the Penang Island.
Can you tell me when the Korean country have this division? It's from
Yes.
1980 or 1990.
What do you mean?
I mean,
Yes.
I mean this. I think this happened.
Yeah.
When.
Yeah. We have the very developing age of the 1980s, and we make a lot of development, economic development, and more this culture has been made from the 80s. Yeah. And now it still continues, and I think it's become more harder and harder from now. So for this one, let's think about the education expense in GDP. Did you hear about that? How much money they spend only for expenditure education in Korea? So normal is Korea 7.6% of GDP, and the OECD 6.3%. But it's not a big deal. There's just 1% of difference. But when you think about that, which sector you spend in, OECD, 86% of public is for the education expense. Only privately, like home and for tuition, is only with 14%. For Korean people, they spend almost half of their income only for the education. And this lately is the number 1 in the world. Private sector expenditure number 1. What do you think about it? Do you have children?
Yes.
Yes. How many rates do you expense for education from your salary?
You cannot calculate.
Calculate.
1%.
1%. Wow, you're so happy people. 1%. Only 1%. But it's not the end. When they go to the university, they have to, especially the Korean men have to go to the army. It's an obligation. They have to spend 2 years in army without any salary. And now it's happy. My time was 3 years. And after I completed the army, it started to be shortened. I was so angry with that. I spent 3 years in army, and before they graduate from the university, they have to prepare the exam for Samsung or Hyundai. They call it the Samsung exam or Hyundai exam, and there are so many tuition or schools only for that exam. So it's not just the end of the exam when they go to the university. Especially for men, it takes about 5 or 6, more than 6 years to graduate from the university because they have army. Yeah. And after that, after we go to the company, just 45% of the university graduator, only 45% can go to the good company. It means more than 50% of the people just spend their time with part-time jobs or arbeit or something. But it's not the end of when they go to the good company. They have to. There are more competition for promotion, and in the Korean company, it's the up or out.
Does mean you move up in your career or you
Yeah.
your career?
No, not career. What I mean is if they can promote after 3 or 5 years, they have to go up. They have to quit the job.
It's meant for some students that doesn't mean they try to study to get a good job? Or
Yeah, after they get a job, they still have they still have competition inside of the company. They have to promote every 3 or 5 years, or they just have to go out because the company kicking out. And the competition is not only for the company. They still have a competition, very competitive in the romance. And the Korean people have too many events. This is a very normal present for that 100th day of the starting the date. This is a 100 head of rose. Have you ever been in Korea?
No.
Yeah. So in Seoul, sometimes you can see the very big flower. A man have a very big flower. It means 100 days. Wow. And 200 days they have to make the couplings. There are too many events for that. Only for the romance. And also their parents spend a lot of money for them, and this time they have to expense for education and home loan. A lot of money is, but the problem is usually Korean company has when they reach to the 45 years, they have to go to retirement. Have you heard about that? 45.
It's quite young.
Yeah, quite young. Yeah. But company wants the new and young people. Yeah. Just to kick them out.
Oh my God.
Yeah. What do you think about it? You want to go to Korea?
I think it's for soccer. I think it's maybe good for soccer because you need young people to have the opportunities to develop the country, and the country is very competitive.
Yeah.
So very very strict competition.
Yeah.
So that I think that in that society, just only one.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, that's right. So many people, their choice is when they go out of the normal path and go back to the normal path, their choice is another one. You can see the suicide rate for 100,000 by country. I made this one by the WHO. I didn't make this number. The world number is Lithuania. It's a 34% suicide. And world number 1 and world number 2 and number 1 in the OECD is Korea. I'm so sad with that. 31%. But Japan is not the safe zone. After that, Russia and Hungary have very, very strange because like you know, like the Philippines, the Japan and Korea is very abundant more than the Philippines. But the Philippines is only the 2. Why is it? Maybe you don't think about it, it's not a big deal, but you see, it means every day 43 persons kill themselves. It means every 34 minutes kill themselves, 1 people. So when you spend just one hour with me, there are 2 people who kill themselves.
Really?
Yes.
In Korea?
In Korea. And Japan is not different. It's almost the same. Why does it happen? Because they can't go on the normal path. So that's why Korean people be so assertive. It means their assertive characteristic means the survival instinct. They have to achieve more performance in the company, or the company kick him out. So you can see very arrogant Korean people. It's not Korean people, but it means self-assertion. It means that they protect themselves. It's not an attack to you. So when I have a lot of experience, the performance assessment. You know, every half year, we were doing the performance assessment with your boss. How about you? You're doing it? Yeah. But in Korea, it's almost war. Like Japan, the Japanese people, they're just making, everybody is like a standard. It's just a normal way. But with that way, Korean people just kick him out. So they have to assert, I made a great performance. So I have a lot of war with Korean people. Now you can understand why they are so assertive. Yeah, they have to achieve their performance. Yes. Or the company kick him out. So sometimes it can be very strong leadership. It can be developed into strong leadership, or just very assertive. This is why Korean people be very assertive. Then, how about why they are like so macho or beautiful girl? Have you ever think about that? Why they are so looks like macho? So have so many muscles. Because Korea has the experience of the military dictatorship in between the 60s and 80s, and especially the government of the 80s, they making the 3S policy. Do you know the 3S policy? What does it stand for? 3S. How about that? The first one is sex. Yeah. The government don't want to get interest from the people. The people just want to go out of the politics. So they make that Korean people makes more interest in sex. So they the curfew during these 37 years, the Korean people can get out outside after the midnight. But they removed all the curfew, and the Korean people can have more time to spend their time with this. And even a junior high school student can buy and can get the adult film. Straightly to tell me, adult film means pornography, of course. So I have the same experience. I can get by the adult film when I go to the video shop. So one of my friends, they have more than 100 collection of the adult films. And second one is sports. So every big games and big leagues starts at the 80s. For example, 81, the Korean get hold right the Seoul Olympic. And 82, the Pro Baseball League is set up by the government. And 83, Pro Soccer League is set up. So everyone is just excited with the sex and the sports. And one more thing, the next, what do you think about the last S?
Social relation, social culture.
Social culture?
Yeah.
Isn't it social culture? Sex versus sport? How about
I think that is stability.
Hmm?
Stability.
Stability. What does it mean? I can't understand that English.
It's a stable society or something, stability.
Yeah, stability. Yeah. I think it's a screen. They made a lot of very interesting broadcasting programs, and they started the color broadcasting. It is very strange. The color TV set already produced from the 94, but all the color televisions exported to the other country. They never sell inside of Korea. But 80 they started this color broadcasting. So more and more Korean people doesn't become interested in politics. They just be excited with this one, absorbed by these 3S. So when you continue this kind of culture, after 20 or 30 years, the Korean society totally changed like this way. Sometimes forward information worker making contents. Every day I searching all kind of internet, like Korean economic newspaper and Nikkei. You see that Nikkei and CNN too. But only time I go to the Korean economic newspaper, I can concentrate on, because you can see this is one example. The 3S policies is rooted in their subconscious. This is the example. You can see. You can see this is not an erotic site. It's the most famous economic newspaper site of Korea. So you can see the news, the market summary news. Yeah, I want to just read it, but as a man, you can't miss this one. Like a sidebar, you can see the photo sidebar having nothing with the market. And today's top topic is the cheerleader's exposure inside of her skirt. And here you can see today's topic. But this topic have nothing to do with the market neither. They just the talents, gossips, or somebody's news. And you can see here's the breaking the news. But the breaking news, when you click it, you can go to the enlargement surgery advertising in the name of a breaking news. What is the enlargement surgery? You understand the enlargement?
And just
Yeah.
a little.
Yeah.
Làm rộng dương vật.
This surgery means enlarge something. Oh, you understand?
Yeah. Yeah,
And it's not the end. You can see the latest photo relocated and just the permutation of this photo sidebar and come here. And what the main thing is only sexy and sports. So can you concentrate on with this site? When I go to the Korean side, I really can't concentrate on. But Korean people is very normal. Okay? Now you understand why they are so assertive and they are so macho. Because they have to display themselves more good looking. So everyone starts to go to gyms.
Do they use these kind of things to release their stress? It's one of the
Yes,
the way for them to.
Yeah, that's right. It's not at all, but it's one of the way.
Yeah.
Yes, but they don't know because
It's subconscious. They don't realize about it.
Yeah. How about the veteran side? Do you have this kind of display?
Never.
Never. Yeah. It's impossible, I think.